What's up guys, I'm Bob Tompkins with the Living in SC team at Real Broker, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode of Living in SC, we're going to be talking about where is Greenville's growth coming from. If you're an outsider looking in, Greenville, South Carolina has had a ton of recent growth, so this is a question that we get all of the time, is where are people exactly coming from? Now before we get right into it, if you're thinking about making a move to the state of South Carolina, us at the Living in SC team would love to be a resource for you. Don't be afraid to shoot us a text at the number listed below or send us an email at info@livinginsc.com, as we would love to be a resource for you in your move. Now, without any further ado, let's get right in to where people are moving to Greenville from. First, I want to preface exactly why this is a topic of discussion. So currently, Greenville, South Carolina's population, the county, sits at just north of 500,000 people. Officially, it's 514,000 people that live within Greenville County. Well, it's projected that by 2040, Greenville's population will actually grow by 222 additional thousand people. That's about a growth rate of 40% over the next 17 years, which is absolutely massive growth. Which begs the question, if we're gonna grow by over 40%, where is that growth actually coming from? Well, thankfully, we actually have some data points on this that help us point to where that growth is coming from so that we can get a better idea of why Greenville is growing so much. So normally when you look at inbound numbers for a particular city, a lot of times you'll see sister cities or nearby cities kind of being the place where a lot of movement is coming from. For example, being in Greenville, you would think that a lot of our growth may come from Charlotte or Atlanta because they're nearby larger metro areas. So people that want to stay nearby to where maybe they're from, they're able to get away from that and get to a smaller environment. And that is a part of Greenville's growth, as you will see, but it's not as large as you may think it is. In other cities, you may see a lot of this with people maybe moving out of a larger metro like Dallas into other towns around Dallas. But as far as Greenville is concerned, this is not where the majority of our growth is actually coming from. When you actually look at the data, the three places that people are moving the most from are New York City, Washington, D.C., and then Los Angeles, California. So when we see three places like New York, Washington, and LA, it begs the question, what do these three places have in common? Well, there's a few things. For instance, New York, LA, and Washington, D.C. all are places with higher tax rates and a much higher cost of living. Also, all three of these tend to be very urban areas where people are kind of packed in on top of one another, meaning that there's a lifestyle where people can't get away from other people, they're paying a lot in taxes, and they're also having to pay a lot just to live, whether that's for housing or food, transportation, you have it. So there is a migration of people that want to get away from higher cost of living, higher taxes, more urban areas to get into Greenville where there may be some more space for them to spread out, a lower cost of living, and then of course lower taxes to boot. When you look further down the list, you'll see at number 4 and 5 that Charlotte and Atlanta are the next on that inbound list. And those make a lot of sense, especially regionally, for people wanting to get out of larger metro areas that are nearby, stay close for whatever reason, whether that's family or work, and they want to make their way to Greenville. Then beyond that, we see places like Chicago, Seattle, Miami, Asheville, North Carolina, and Boston, Massachusetts. With the exception of Asheville, all of these tend to be much larger metro areas that carry a much higher cost of living, and in most cases, higher taxes as well. And you see those people migrating here to get out of those urban areas. With that, we can see a pretty clear trend that the majority of Greenville's growth are people that are fleeing those three main things. Now, there may be other things that are at play for every person individually that factor into a decision on why they may move here, but the demographic of the people moving to Greenville is relatively constant throughout that list, from 1 to 10. Now, I know a lot of people that are from South Carolina, that are from Greenville, may look at that list and may say, oh my gosh, I don't want so many of these big city folk coming in to my town of Greenville. And just to be honest with you, the growth is inevitable. So if you're a South Carolina resident and you're looking at this video, I'm sorry that that's where the growth is coming from. It's not gonna stop. And if you're from out of state and you're looking at coming here, you can know that a very great deal of people that are living here, that are moving here, they share a very similar situation to you, where they are trying to get out of their current situation of higher taxes, higher cost of living, and these urban areas to come somewhere else to enjoy life here. The reason I say that is many people tend to ask the question when they're considering a move to South Carolina is, will there be people I can relate to? I would say the data and on who is moving into Greenville, it supports an answer of yes to that. You are going to be able to find people that you relate to, that share a lot of your life experiences, and you're not gonna have any problem relating and plugging in to a group of people here in Greenville. Now, one of the statistics that I find very interesting when I'm looking at these data points is actually the amount of home searches that are happening for Greenville, South Carolina. And when you look at the data, especially the stuff that is provided by Redfin, you'll find that only 57.4% of home searches in Greenville are actually performed by people that live in Greenville. That means that 42.6% of home searches for Greenville, South Carolina are being performed by people elsewhere. That should give you a great idea of how many people are trying to move to the area, that are desiring to move to the area, and how many of them will eventually move here. Greenville's growth is one that has kind of been exponential as of recently, and we don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Now, of course, the question may be asked, people that live here, where are they going? Well, the answer to that is nowhere. People that live in Greenville, South Carolina, that are looking to move are overwhelmingly staying within the Greenville area. In fact, it's right between 79 and 80% of Greenville residents that are searching for a home are still searching for a home within Greenville. And the markets that people are moving to predominantly, Asheville, Atlanta, and Charlotte, which are very close by regional places to move. And that likely indicates that it's really just a matter of jobs moving them to another town locally, really for their work. So this gives us a good idea that the people that are here aren't fleeing this area. They are staying tight unless they're being relocated for their job. And people from other areas are coming here in droves because it allows for them to have the lifestyle that they want that's contrary to what they're currently experiencing in some of these larger urban areas that carry an expensive lifestyle. So if that's you and you fall into that demographic of people that are wanting to make a move to Greenville, South Carolina, once again, we would absolutely love to be a resource for you here at the Living in SC team. So don't be afraid to shoot us a text at the number listed below or give us an email at info@livinginsc.com. Check out some of our other videos, hit that subscribe button. Once again, I'm Bob Tompkins with the Living in SC team, and we'll see you next time on Living in South Carolina.